Frogman Friday.
Yeah, boy. What's up, people? It's that time again. Welcome to the Frogman Friday show. Presented by Transcend, the best peptide and hormone therapy. They put your health first so you can live more and worry less. Go to transcendcompany.com/Birdman to begin your wellness transformation today. Today, our badass guest is William Branum. He served 26 years as a Navy SEAL, retiring as a senior chief. He founded Naked Warrior Recovery and 5 SEAL Secrets. You can follow Bill on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And to take a deeper dive, go check out nw-recovery.com and 5sealsecrets.com. Fast note, Bill is a consultant, speaker, coach, best-selling author, apparel creator, and performance optimization dude. Pretty much what a Navy SEAL should look like versus my skinny little ass. What's up, bro?
What's happening?
Man, you are the antithesis of a SEAL, man. You look just like it. When people ask, like, you were a Navy SEAL, and they expect me to look like you. So I'm pretty jealous, but
You know what? I'll tell you what, I look better now than I did when I was in the SEAL teams. Maybe it's because I have a beard now. I'm not sure. But I work out differently. I do things a lot different. Well, it's funny. I was on Rob O'Neill's podcast.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, has anyone ever asked you if you said that you don't look like a Navy, or anyone ever said that you don't look like a Navy SEAL?" I was like, "No, why? Have they said that to you?" But I think it's funny because I tell Rob that he's shaped like a pear, and he was since Budge. But it doesn't take away from his abilities.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll tell you what, I always get the whole, like, I'm the kid brother of the SEAL. So when I shave my face, I look like I'm 12, and I'm like, we're just gonna keep this just for good measure.
Just so people just think you're old enough to be there.
Yeah. Well, you got a ton of stuff to go over, and you've done a ton, man, post-service, and it's crazy. Let's kick it off with Naked Warrior Recovery. Tell me about that. What is the antithesis? Why did you start it, and what does it do?
Yeah, so Naked Warrior Recovery is primarily a CBD company, and I started it because I was drinking myself to sleep at night. There's tons of dudes have problems with alcohol. Alcohol is very it's part of the culture. And so, but I would drink just glasses and glasses of vodka at night to pretty much turn down the noise in my head, or cover up the noise in my head. And then I heard about this molecule CBD while I was still on active duty, but I wasn't ready to try it yet because I'm not ready to be kicked out of the military because of using drugs.
Yeah.
So I didn't. But then I retired, and it still took me about, I don't know, probably another year and a half before I tried CBD for the first time. A buddy of mine gave me a bottle because he was pretty big on Instagram, and people were sending him products to promote for promotion. And so he gave me a bottle, and maybe I slept a little bit better that night. Maybe I was a little less pissed off the next morning when I woke up. But what I noticed over time of taking CBD is, I like to say that water boils at 212 degrees. I was probably living my life at 210 degrees. I was very much living in that red zone. Like, very easy to get pissed off. Very, like, triggers would go off really easily. And what I found is taking CBD over time, my temperature, I went from like 210 to 205 to 200 to 195, 190, maybe 185. Like, the dial went down, the rheostat went down. And so I was like, and then I ran out of that bottle of CBD, and I started getting pissed off again. But I didn't notice that rheostat going down until I stopped using it. And then things that weren't bothering me for a while started bothering me again. I was like, well, maybe there was something to this. So I tried a different brand of CBD, had very similar results. I was like, you know what? Maybe this is my new mission and purpose. Because when I retired from the SEAL teams, I felt like I lost my mission, my purpose, and my team. It was like that movie, the Avengers movie, where Thanos like snapped his fingers and half the world's population vanishes all at once. That's the way I felt. I was like, oh, what the hell? And so I was like, well, maybe CBD is my new thing. And so I started. Well, first of all, like, the industry was incredibly dirty, a lot of not good players out there. So I went out and I found the highest quality, producers in the market. They're still the highest quality producers in the market currently. And I partnered with them and started Naked Warrior Recovery. And our mission at Naked Warrior Recovery is 22 to 0. 22 veterans take their lives every single day, and that's the 22 on my shirt here, is bringing awareness to that number, and really to eliminate the veteran suicide. So, and my dad is one of those 22. My dad took his life probably 6 months after I graduated BUD/S, so that was not cool either.
Wow.
So that was sort of the emphasis of Naked Warrior Recovery. Since then we've grown a bit. We have some products with THC, and a lot of people say drugs are bad. THC is bad. I disagree. I think THC is a much better substance than alcohol, because I can take a small amount. I can have the same, feeling of alcohol, but when I wake up the next morning, I feel amazing.
Yeah.
So
No question. I'll tell you what, man, same scenario, right? I got out. I was drinking because I didn't either want to feel something for the day because I was stressed out and I was depressed, or I was drinking because I actually wanted to feel something. Either way, it was completely erratic. And I'm a huge proponent of doing the homeopathic and alternative methods to help. I went and did ibogaine and 5-MeO,
yeah,
and stuff was unreal, right?
I just talked to Rob about that this past weekend.
Amazing. Yeah, he's always wearing the ibogaine shirt. I'm like,
Yeah,
you too? You too? Sweet. So I've done it twice now, and it's life changing, man, because it's like
yeah,
we can't get on narcotics, we can't get on pills. We got to take alternate methods. And you're right, it was a culture thing, and it was fun, and it lasted because we had to go to work and we were required to go to work. But when you're a
yeah,
civilian, you're not required. So
right.
that's awesome that you've done this. I mean, this is going to save a lot of people's lives, no question about it. And just to take the edge off, you say that switch, where you're operating at 210 degrees. I mean,
Yeah,
I think we all feel that too. It's just like, there's got to be something to help me get off of this right now, because we have a switch when we're in the military, but now when there's no mission and purpose anymore, you're just always angry, or at least I
right.
was.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So this is
And
cool.
then not having that mission and purpose made it even worse. There's nowhere to direct this energy.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. So that's awesome, man. Especially finding the clean stuff too. I mean, that's one thing that I have a good friend who's a dietitian I was like, should I try this? And they're like, well, what's the label say? And I'm like, I don't know. And I don't know how to read labels. And she's like, well, there's no third party testing and there's this stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know what any of this means. She's like, you want to find products that actually what is on the label is truly
yeah.
inside. And I'm like, cool. So the cleaner you can get stuff, the more bioavailable it is. It's pretty cool stuff, man. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
and that was one of the factors for partnering with my supplier, is they were driving the standard in the CBD industry. Like, you would see the biggest names out there, they were not doing the same level of quality control as my suppliers. And so I was one of the first to be doing third party testing of the final product that goes in the bottle or goes in the jar or whatever. And everyone else, like, there lots of companies where they were doing third party testing of the oil when it comes out of the plant, but they were never doing third party testing of the final product, the gummy, the tincture, the topical, the pills, the whatever it was. And so we were the only ones that were doing the third party testing after everything was manufactured, because we would find times where it didn't have what we actually said was supposed to be in there. So we'd have to scrap the whole batch of product. It gets
Wow.
expensive quickly. So that forced everyone to refine the operations. And so now anything, when we say it's in there, it's at least that much is in there. There's generally about 10 or 20% more of whatever we say is in the product is in the product.
Dude, that's awesome. To clarify for people, because I know there's still a lot of people that are on the fence about this stuff. They think that when you hear about CBD, like, oh my gosh, is that like marijuana? Is that a joint? Am I going to get completely high when I take this
Yeah,
stuff? And I was that way when I first tried this, because I mean, when I was a kid, I tried marijuana and I thought it was World War III. It is not made for me. This stuff's not
right,
made for me. So when my buddy's like, hey, you should try the CBD for joint pain, ankle pain, relaxation, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going back to war. I'm good.
right.
And then he's like, just do it. And I tried it and I was like, you're right. And it's like, this is pretty smooth. So to clarify, this stuff is a lot less. I can't speak professionally on it, but it is not marijuana where you would smoke it and get completely high.
Right.
This is
Well,
complete.
and so here's the kind of the legality of CBD is in 2018, Congress passed the Farm Bill. And so in that bill, they made hemp to be legal. So prior to that, hemp is cannabis.
Yeah.
So hemp became legal, and the definition of hemp, it's the same plant is a marijuana plant. It just has less THC in the dried weight of the plant. So it's
Interesting.
cannabis, it's hemp, it's whatever you want to call it, but it's the less it's all of the CBD that I have, and even the THC that I have, is all derived from hemp. It's not from marijuana, and so it has a very different feeling when some of the products that I have that have a little bit higher THC content in it. Most of my products have zero THC, just because there's that stigma, drug testing, and all that other stuff. But I have a couple of products that do have some THC in them, and they make you feel like you're drinking, give you a little bit of a buzz, and what it does for me is it like slows down my brain, because that thing's just going 1,000 miles an hour, so I can actually slow down and go to sleep at night.
That's awesome. Well, if you are on the fence about CBD or you're interested in trying it, there's a great place to start, which is Naked Warrior Recovery. Go check them out for sure, and then let us know what you think. Let's dig into
You know what?
Go
I'm gonna give a discount code to your listeners just because.
Hey, rock
We're
star
gonna
status.
we're gonna call it Frogman 20 for 20%.
Perfect. You heard it there. We'll post it out. We'll put it in the link so you can go directly to it. That's awesome. Thanks, brother.
Yes, sir.
Amazing. Let's dig into 5 SEAL secrets. This is interesting. Can't wait to hear.
Yeah. So 5 SEAL secrets. One of the challenges of starting a CBD company is marketing. Everyone was like, "Oh, you need to run Facebook ads and Instagram and Google ads and all." None of those platforms like CBD, like cannabis. I didn't even have social media before I started the company, and I lost 4 Facebook accounts and 3 Instagram accounts before I realized that they didn't like what I was trying to do. And I wasn't like doing anything crazy. I was just like, I took a picture of my product, and I would like boost the there's like thing in there where you can just hit boost and like put $10 or something towards the post that you made, and then their AI bots or whatever would see it, and they would shut it down, and they would delete my account and wouldn't tell me anything about it. And so I went out and hired some coaches to help me figure out how to build, how do I advertise, how do I market, how do I do all these other things. And one of my coaches was like, "Well, why aren't you on stages? Why aren't you like speaking to people? Because you have a message to sell." And I'm like, "I don't have a message. I was a Navy SEAL. I know how to do that job. I don't know how to speak to people, all this other stuff." And they're like, "Yes, you do. Go figure out what it is." Okay, fine. Well, one of the things in Naked Warrior Recovery, I came up with the tagline of "Get Naked," and really what that was about was taking that ego off, that armor that you're hiding behind off, that mask you're hiding behind off, so you can become your authentic self. And so you can find the healing that you actually need. Expose yourself, because in combat, we put our armor on, we go into combat, and sometimes it saves our life. I believe your armor probably saved your life when you got blown up.
100%.
And then we come back, we take our armor off, we hit the showers, we rest, we recover, we get ready for the next mission. Well, in life, we don't do that. We get this armor on, we keep it on, and we fucking hide behind it, and it just gets ugly, and we never learn how to take that off. So that was the impetus of me using the word "get naked," or the phrase "get naked." And so I was like, well, I've got this "get naked" phrase, and so the homework from my coach was like, hey, create create a signature presentation, and it needs to be about 10 or 15 minutes. And I was like, okay, so what if I use "get naked" and turn that into an acronym? Well, 8 letters is too many to do in 10 or 15 minutes. So I was like, okay, 5 letters, naked, NAKED. So I turned that into an acronym. And so naked N stands for never quit. A is accept failure. The K is to kill mediocrity. The E is expose your fears, and the D is do the work. And after creating that, I got on a bunch of podcasts. I think I've been on over 500 podcasts since COVID happened. That was also one of the other sort of things that one of my coaches said: get on podcasts, get on every podcast you can, and create that good know, like, and trust, and let people let them buy from you. And I was like, okay, awesome. I also had a tremendous amount of imposter syndrome. I'm like, yeah, I had no confidence in my own self, even though I've gone and done whatever the things that I've done. And so getting on those podcasts helped me figure out who the hell I am and what my story actually is. I think kind of like you're very, very much a storyteller, and you were kind of forced to like, hey, get out there and tell people your story. Tell them who you are and what you do and what you stand for. And there's a tremendous amount of power in that. And I had never done that after 26 years of service, I was always the quiet professional. Don't tell anyone the nature of your work, blah, 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 all this other stuff, all this other nonsense. I think it's great while you're on active duty, but don't come after me when I get out, because you're not paying my
100%.
bills anymore.
Right.
So from that, I created, 5 SEAL secrets. If you go to the website, the number 5sealsecrets.com, you can see exactly what you can read. It's an ebook, free, with some cool pictures, taken by, most of them are by Darren McBurnett. He created a book called Uncommon Grit.
McBee.
Yeah, McBee. He was, I went to buds with McBee. I remember when he fell off the slide for life in third phase, like
Yes.
lawn dart from the top. I was like, bro, that was not good. Anyway, so, and then I created that ebook, and now I travel around and give my 5 SEAL secrets presentation, and I use that to really as a funnel. It's all business to get coaching clients, and that's the other thing that I do is I coach leaders, entrepreneurs, C-suite executives on basically leadership, because a lot of times most people don't know how to lead. I know I didn't know how to lead, even though I was thrust into leadership position after leadership position, and I had no idea what I was doing. And the times that I learned the most was when I failed. When I failed as a leader, I was like, oh, that's why now we know what to do.
Oh man. Well, I used to say this all the time until everybody apparently started saying it, and not because of me. Everybody I think picks up their own analogy, but then it seems to always come back full circle. So you can't be a good leader if you haven't been led well. And I'm like,
Right.
I was led my entire career. I made it to E6, so I didn't really have crazy leadership ability, and I wasn't the senior chief like you. So that's definitely a lot more. But within those confines, you have tons of leadership roles in that. And it's like, man, I got out and people are asking me for their advice, and there's these really strong entrepreneurs and these CEOs, and I'm like, I have no clue what to tell you. And then one of them stopped and he's like, I want to tell you what, man, you need to think through how many unbelievable circumstances you've been through and how you got to those places and who influenced you, because that right there is going to show you the leadership capabilities that you've learned and what you have. And then we can convert that to the civilian world, because it all translates. And I'm like,
Yeah.
huh. Now he's leading me down a road to being a speaker. And I'm like, I'm a storyteller, dude. Like, you want to hear about the off-duty stuff? I'm in, but when it comes to leadership, I'm going to direct you somewhere else, because I don't
Yeah.
get on stage. I don't wear the suit. And people don't look at me like that. So,
Well, this
what's
is
it?
what I wear on stage. I wear a t-shirt, jeans, and flip-flops.
You have to.
Unless the venue is like, we want you to wear like a jacket or, whatever.
You have to. Yeah. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
What's it like though? You go 26 years of being the silent professional. Now you're on stage giving keynote presentations. I mean, what was that conversion like? What did that feel like when you started doing that?
I actually turned it into kind of like a workup.
Okay.
So every time I do a presentation, I'm in my room. If I can, I'll go to the stage the day before or the night before, and I'll rehearse my whole presentation on the stage. So so I know the size of the stage, so I don't trip over my own 2 feet. So I know like where the crowd is, so I can kind of like just do that dirt dive, like we would do before a mission, rock drill, whatever you want to call it, on the stage, and just to make sure. And I also, will modify my presentation depending on the venue or the organization that I'm talking to. If they want me to talk more leadership, I'll inject some leadership stuff. If they want me to talk, if it's a real estate company, a group of realtors, I'll use analogies for real estate. If it's a gym, I'll use stuff for clientele or marketing for working out. And so I'll inject all of those things. But once I actually have paid tens of thousands of dollars to get on stages to speak, just to practice my presentation.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah. And so now I'll still do that if it's a big enough venue and they ask me to like they want me to be a sponsor. They want Naked Warrior Recovery to be a sponsor. I'm like, okay, yeah, but I get 45 minutes on your stage to speak.
There you go.
Minimum. That's the minimum, is 45 minutes. And so and so the goal of that is to hopefully get a coaching client or two out of that crowd based off what I just delivered, and people to come by Naked Warrior Recovery to so I can help other nonprofits and things like that.
That's amazing, man. When did you get out of the service?
July 31st of 2018.
Okay. So still somewhat fresh, but still motivated. Not.
I was in absolute denial about getting out. I was like, oh, I know I'm getting out, but I don't want to get out. And that my transition, much like you, was really freaking hard.
Yeah.
And I actually did a TED talk on it, on my get out. I call it, transition through life like a Navy SEAL. And it was really make a plan, practice your plan, brief the plan, do a dirt dive, all that good stuff. Go execute your plan. It's not going to work out the way you think it's going to work out. You're going to have to, make adjustments. So all that other stuff.
Wow. Did you know that you were an entrepreneur?
I did not. I didn't even
Love
know what the hell that word was.
that.
I'm still figuring it out. I mean, and I'll tell you, it's really a blessing because had I gotten some sort of contract job or government job right out the gate when I retired, I would probably still be sitting in a fucking cubicle right now doing that, ready to blow my brains out. And no self personal development, no growth, no nothing. And I can tell you that the person I am now is not the person that retired in 2018.
It's amazing. Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of guys, when they stop doing what they're doing day to day and they quit working out, they're drinking, they're not eating right, all that stuff, you've seen to maintain at least a healthy balance. You're still big, so you're working out. What does your routine look like as just an everyday human?
I get up around 6, maybe go for a walk, mile or two, nothing big, maybe 3 miles. I come back. I start work around 8 a.m. Usually that's some sort of client call or working on some sort of marketing campaign or figuring out what the hell I'm doing. And then I take a lot of calls. I do a lot of podcasts. I travel. I'm usually in bed by 11, and yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't actually own a TV.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
just I
Well,
feel like if I'm not working, I'm not, I don't, yeah, if I'm not working, I'm missing out on something.
such is the grind of an entrepreneur, man.
Right.
Like it's a question that I ask everybody. And what I tend to find is somebody who goes to work for corporate America, like, oh, I get up, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that real quickly. It's like succinct. And then they go to work, they have their 9 to 5, whatever. They get out, come home, watch some TV, drink some beer, whatever. With an entrepreneur, they're like, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's so awesome because people who are entrepreneurs understand the grind. People who are not don't have any clue the effort.
I have to maintain some sort of structure because if I don't, I'll be way all over the place more than I am right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I have to okay, from here to here, I'm going to be doing work. From here to here, I'll take breaks and go and pick up some dumbbells and, you know, knock out 30 or 50 reps of something and then come back and do some more work.
Oh, I hear it, man. I've been the same way since 2010, and it can be feast and famine at times, but
Yes.
you
A
get to
lot,
rate
lot
your
of
own
famine
schedule.
and then there's then you get to eat occasionally.
It's awesome, man. You've got all kinds of stuff going on here. Um, I'm going to direct everybody to your sites to make sure everybody knows, and we're going to start blasting you out. I always like to end on a unique note. I want to ask something very specific, and it always seems to stump guys, or it's on topic real quick. But tell me the most heroic story you had of your time in the service, whether it was you actually performing the op or the thing that you didn't know you were going to do, or was it a brother that you saw persevere and do something unique, whether it was in training or combat, or somebody who gave their life for this country. I want people to, most of these podcasts seem to unveil the person for what they're doing, the businesses, the titles, and all that. But the human side is like, that always seems to be a big driver in people's lives. So would you share one story with us?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with a jump. You know what? He was at SEAL Team 7 for a while, and then he came over to SEAL Team 10, and he was a platoon commander. I believe it was I'm blanking on his name. He was a great runner. He was in he's from Alaska. I remember he's from Alaska, but anyway, came over to SEAL Team 10, Afghanistan deployment, moving through the villages. He steps on a landmine, loses a leg. Maybe loses both legs. I don't remember. But he continued to direct the team and maneuver the elements around the battlefield missing 2 legs. Tourniquets on there, still directing traffic all the way up until we gave him morphine. And once he, got that shot of morphine, and once it kicked in, we had to relieve him of duty. But like, just one of the most heroic, like, amazing, like, that is what leadership is all about. It doesn't matter your condition. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter whatever it is. You just continue to lead until you can't lead anymore.
That's amazing. That right there is the most unique thing of the SEAL teams. And I can only speak for those guys because I was part of it. But I learned in Bud's day one that you never judge a book by its cover, because the guys that I was paired up with that were way stronger than me and faster than me are the guys that disappeared quickly. And I always questioned why I was still there. But then I would see a guy on the O course who had a pudgy stomach who was just nailing like all the obstacles and just passing the standard. And I'm like, nothing makes sense to me right now but one thing, and that's you can never judge a book by its cover, because that pudgy dude ended up becoming a warrior and saving a dude's life on his first deployment. Yeah. And it's like, okay, got it. So amazing. Thanks for sharing that story, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Well, there you have it. We're going to put out the word. This is a couple things. We've got nw-recovery.com and 5sealsecrets.com. Go check it out. The links will be in my bio, and we're going to keep pushing you. Thanks for your time, bro.
You know what? Hold it. Before we go real quick, I have to do this. I have to shout out a book that just launched this past Saturday.
Send it.
It's called Mission Ready. It's on Amazon. And so I co-authored the book. I wrote, I originally wrote it like 5 SEAL Secrets of Leadership, but I've changed it to gunfight leadership. And really it's leadership through the lens of a gunfight. So if I can train you to lead in a gunfight, one of the most stressful scenarios on the planet, I can teach you to lead in pretty much any scenario. And they're just principles of, it's things like shoot, move, and communicate. That's that multitask like a Navy SEAL. I say shoot, move, and communicate. Number 2 is leaders get no bullets. And what I mean by that is if you're leading, you should not be looking down the sights of your weapon, engaging the target. And we can go into deeper detail about that. But anyway, that's sort of the premise of the book. And so I just wanted to give that book a real quick shout out by Mission Ready. It's on Amazon.
Amazon. And when is it released?
It released last Saturday.
Check. All right. We'll get that one out as well. Dude.
Yes, sir.
Keep crushing it. Keep doing all these awesome things. And hopefully we send people your way, man. And just proud to know you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you bringing me on here.
Always, man.
We'll talk soon.
You got it. It's always such a good time to rap with brothers from the SEAL teams. William Branum, it's amazing what you're doing, brother. We're going to follow you, share you, and watch you continue on your journey as an entrepreneur. It's pretty cool. Couple hot topics for you to follow for Will. Go check out Naked Warrior Recovery. That's nw-recovery.com. You got 5sealsecrets.com. And then his new book that launched last week on Amazon called Mission Ready, Building High-Performing Teams from the Battlefield to the Boardroom. Go give Will a love. Go give him a like, a follow, a share. Do all the things. Let's support this warfighter as he gets out of the service and starts his entrepreneurial career. I could not do this podcast without Transcend. I want you to know this company means so much to me, and it's not a sponsor to me. This is a health and wellness journey for me. I started with Transcend when I was deficient in so many things, not feeling as good as I could have felt, and didn't really know what it meant to truly get blood run and what everything in my blood meant and what my physiology was saying. So when working with Transcend, they ran my blood. They had a coach come in and work with me to get me on track and put me on a protocol that was exact for me. So if you're stressed out, if you have anxiety, if you're not feeling right, go to your blood first. Go check out transcendcompany.com/Birdman and start your health and wellness journey today. There's no time like the present. My charity hot list, as always, sonsoftheflag.org. We got birdseyeviewproject.org, guardiangrange.org. We got transcendfoundation.com and navysealsfund.org. Go check them out, give them a like, subscribe, follow, all the things. Cool. If you're into history, as always, we have a book called Sons of the Flag for the last 100 years of American service, talking about the why of service. Like, why did a World War II vet serve during his time? Why did a Korean War vet serve during his time? So easy read. I'm the author. So I have a 5th grade education practically. So nice and easy reading, maybe some scratch and sniff and coloring in there. But the bottom line is these stories are epic. They're amazing. They're real. And it'll leave you feeling compelled to believe in your country and potentially serve your country. Go check out Sons of the Flag. You can get it on Amazon, and 100% of the net proceeds go to sonsoftheflag.org. Last but not least, make sure to check out 7x or at 7x.project on Instagram. We're getting ready to release our Human Performance Project, share all the information about it. So if you haven't followed that account yet, go check it out, give it a like. And last but not least, we drop these episodes every Friday. Again, this is not really a podcast, but more of a PSA. It's taking special operators getting out of the service and introducing you to their entrepreneurial side. What are they doing today? Are they selling a product? Did they create a company? Have they written a book or made a movie? Have they started a nonprofit? Something that they're doing that we can fast track them into the civilian world, show you what they're doing, and then you get behind them to support them. They've dedicated 10, 20 years of their life to serving this country, and now it's our time to protect them on the back end. So go check out YouTube. We're also on Spotify. Click that like button, subscribe. Make sure to do all the things, hit the alarm so that notifications come off. We drop every Friday on all social media channels.
Frogman Friday. Long live the brotherhood.